This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Okay, so in this video, we're going to have a little bit of fun. I'll be kind of poking fun at myself in this video as well. So those of you who want to get ready with your fingers to call me a fanboy and biased, well, yeah, okay, we're going to address that as this video goes along. And yes, I am. I've never hidden behind it. For the 4 years I've been doing this, I've said it since day one, and those who've been with me since pretty much day one will tell you, I haven't really changed. And I'm not likely to now, okay? This is not a professional platform or anything like that. But again, I mean, we'll talk about that as this video goes along. But for now, I'm gonna read out some comments. Don't worry, I won't be name dropping, so anybody who's gonna start getting palpitations that I may be putting your name up on the screen, it's not gonna happen, okay? I'm just gonna read out comments, and you will recognize that a lot of fanboys actually accuse other people of being fanboys, but yet they expose themselves in the very same sentence. These are the ones I'm going to be reading out to you, okay? And there are hundreds and hundreds of them, but I'm only going to give you a small handful, that's for sure. Now, if anybody gets triggered by anything that I say in this video, it's probably because you're a fanboy yourself and you haven't recognized it yet. And I've just shown you a mirror. That's why you've got an emotional response to it, okay? Some people, why are you doing a video on this, yada, yada, yada? Because I knew you'd watch it. I mean, that's pretty much the answer, isn't it? Anyway, so if you even get triggered, if you get emotional, if you get nitpicky, some people get very, very nitpicky with certain things that I say and do, then quite clearly you're a fanboy, right? But yet you'll say in the very same sentence, I'm not a fanboy, but, okay. Anyway, so here's some examples, then we'll talk about myself and then some other channels, okay? So, Sporting Icons, you are such a Fury fanboy. It's embarrassing. To say Fury didn't cheat against Wilder shows how much of a Fury fanboy you are. It's obvious Fury cheated and Wilder is still the king. Hashtag bomb squad. So do you recognize the own contradiction right there? I'm a Tyson Fury fanboy, but quite clearly they're exposing themselves as being a Wilder fanboy. Especially when you call him a king and a hashtag bomb squad. So what you're accusing me of is exactly what you are, is it not? That's fanboy-ism, okay? It is what it is. You need to accept this. You are a fanboy of Wilder, okay? It is what it is, nothing wrong. If you want to be a fanboy of Wilder, you crack on. Just don't accuse other people of being fanboys in a derogative kind of way. Again, you may say, but, well, I'm just a boxing fan. You're a YouTuber uploader. Okay, my platform, and I've always said this, is not a professional platform. I'm a boxing fan like each and every one of you. It just so happens I put it in video form. That's the only difference between me and you. So you being a fan of boxing and a fan of certain fighters, and you have your opinion on certain situations and certain fighters, I'm exactly the same as you. I just put it in video form. I don't have a boss. I don't have, this is not a business for me. This is not people that I report to or anything like that. I don't need to, okay? So I'm just a fan who just puts out my own thoughts, okay? It's not a professional platform. I don't know how many times I need to tell you, okay? Okay, so here's another one. All of you AJ fanboys need to get off AJ's nuts. AJ couldn't lace Tyson Fury's boots, you bunch of dossers. Do you recognize the contradiction in there? You need to get off AJ's nuts. Well, clearly you're on Tyson's nuts. Clearly. And if you're calling people dossers, why are you just repeating what it is that Tyson Fury says? Because you're a fanboy. That's why. It is what it is. In fact, I don't think I've ever heard an AJ fan repeating what Anthony Joshua says about stay humble and whatever else. But a lot of Tyson Fury fans will call other people dossers. Nothing wrong with it. It's just that don't contradict yourself. That's the only thing I'm trying to tell you. Here's another one. Sporting Icons. You need to get out of AJ's arse. I have no desire to be in AJ's arse, but okay. You need to get out of AJ's arse. To say Fury versus AJ is a 50-50 fight shows how much of a matchroom arse licker you are. Tyson plays with AJ, easy work. After this fight, if it happens, you and your matchroom bum boys will see what real boxing fans see, which is the Gypsy King is the best heavyweight of all time. I mean, who's really in whose arse when you're saying that? Who's really in whose arse when you're saying that? See, some people do actually deserve me to actually put their names on screen, but I said I'm not that kind of person. Anyway, here's another one. These fanboys of the coke sniffer, Fury, will all be on suicide watch when AJ destroys him and then knocks him out. You all hype Fury too high. He's overrated. If AJ and Fury were to retire right now, it's only AJ that is sure to enter the Hall of Fame. Well, clearly, if you're calling people a Fury fanboy and this, that, and the other, well, surely you're an AJ fanboy, yeah? By saying that he's the only one who's worthy to get into the Hall of Fame. Now, there's nothing wrong with some of the things that you've said there, because it's an opinion, but at the end of the day, again, you can't say you're hyping Tyson Fury too high, but yet say Anthony Joshua is the only one who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. That's hyping Anthony Joshua, is it not? Contradictions. Here's another one. Sporting lycons. Lycons, okay. I don't ever call lying, since when is telling the truth and showing the truth a lie? Okay, it is what it is. Anyway, sporting lycons. Your rimming of your so-called friend, Dillian Where's the B Sample White, is reaching new heights. Okay. You once said Dillian has a good chance of beating Tyson Fury, but he just got destroyed and knocked smooth out by old man Povetkin. Not Povetkin, but Povetkin. What are you saying now about your drug-cheating mate's chances of beating the one and only Gypsy King who just destroyed the hardest puncher in heavyweight history? Now, there's a lot of nuggets in that one, isn't there? But here's a couple. I mean, you said my so-called friend Dillian White. Okay. Is Tyson Fury your so-called friend? Yes? No? Okay. Then you call like Dillian the B Sample White and then Povetkin. Again, you're contradicting yourself. You do realise, and I know some Fury fans won't like hearing this, but Fury does have a 2-year conviction on his resume for drug taking. You are aware of this, right? I don't like it any more than you do, but he does. So again, you're contradicting yourself. Here's another one. Sporting icons, the racist. Okay. I don't think I've been called that before, but anyway. Sporting icons, the racist. By saying cherry picker Canelo is pound for pound top 3. Maybe even number 1. Which is true, I did say that. Shows that you're a racist. To put Canelo pound for pound above Spence Jr., Devin Haney, Crawford, Charlo, and Shakur Stevenson exposes you for what you are. Okay. Now, I don't know what Charlo he's speaking about there. Is it Jamel or Jamal? I'm presuming Jamel, because he's only one belt away from becoming undisputed at 154. So maybe he's talking about him. I don't know. But to call me a racist because what? Because Canelo is a pound for pound fighter? Now, I never said that he is pound for pound number 1. I said he should be in pound for pound top 3. And I did also put the likes of Terence Crawford in there as well. Maybe Crawford's number 1. I don't know. But again, I'm presuming that the order that you wrote these names in, Spence Jr., Devin Haney, Crawford, Charlo, and Shakur Stevenson, is the order that you've got your top 5, I'm presuming. Errol Spence Jr., is pound for pound over a Terence Crawford? Well, Terence Crawford you put in, 3rd position? 3rd position. Terence Crawford, who is a multi-weight world champion and former undisputed champion. Still undefeated, by the way. And a guy that Errol Spence Jr. is ducking. He's in 3rd place, but Errol Spence Jr. is a 1-weight champion. But he's number 1, yeah? And again, all 5 of these, they're not white. So are you mad because a white fighter is in the top 3? What's the problem with that? I don't understand. I don't understand what the problem is. There shouldn't be a problem with that. Again, Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney, they're prospects. What have they done? You can't have a pound for pound list on something that they might do. You have a pound for pound list on something that they have done. See, this is why I don't like talking about pound for pound, because people just get ridiculous about it. Anyway, moving on. Now, this one I actually deleted. Not this particular comment, but it came from one comment on the last video that I'd done where loads and loads of people were replying to it. And I started to engage with some of it myself, which I should have really known better, that I should really be engaging with people who support me rather than who are critical, okay? But anyway, once in a while, I do let my guard down and I bite. So I actually deleted the top comment to get rid of all the other ones because it was getting a little bit silly. It was getting borderline stupid. Okay, so I deleted the top one, which of course ended up taking this one away. But I remember this comment standing out, and it went something along the lines of, why did you put end of the road on your video picture? It encourages AJ and Wilder fanboys to click your video and hate on Fury. Now, firstly, it's only a thumbnail. And by putting end of the road on there, well, Anthony Joshua said if once their fights are finished, Tyson Fury will probably end up fighting Derek Chisora and then retire. Well, isn't when you retire the end of the road? Is that not what it is? So what was wrong with the picture that I used? There was nothing wrong with it. I never said that I agreed with Anthony Joshua. I never said that Tyson Fury should retire or anything like that. Not at all. But you're just complaining about a thumbnail. And by saying that it encourages AJ and Wilder fans to come to my video to hate on Fury. So what? So what? Who cares if they do? Who cares if they do? What difference does it make in your life if Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder fans or any other fan who doesn't like Tyson Fury for whatever reason it may be want to come to that comment section and hate on Tyson Fury? What difference does it make in your personal life? What difference does it make? It shouldn't make any difference, right? It really, really shouldn't. Okay, now, as I said, I can go on and on and on, but obviously I'm not going to. So, my own fanboyism. Now, my fanboyism is, again, I've said it before, I've always been this way. Ever since I started my channel 4 years ago, those who were with me back then will tell you that I've always been this way. I've always openly said I am biased. So if you don't like me being biased, well, okay, that's fine. You don't like it. It is what it is. Okay, but usually it's for fighters that I know personally. I have a personal relationship with them. I interact with them. We speak on the phone, with text message. I go around to their gyms, their house sometimes, whatever it may be. Yes, I'm going to be biased towards them. I'm going to be a fanboy towards them. You would too if you was in my position. And some of you may well be. Some of you will know certain fighters personally, and you will be biased towards them. But of course, that doesn't mean that I agree with everything that they do and say, not at all. But it probably means that I'm probably not going to put it in video form. I'm probably going to speak to them one-on-one, or I'll just ignore it. That's all it is, okay? So that's my reasoning. What's your reason? Do you know Wilder personally? Do you know Anthony Joshua? Do you know Tyson Fury? Do you know whoever else? Do you know these people? So you know what my reason is. What's your reason? Now, as I said, this video is probably going to trigger a lot of people. If you do get triggered, it is what it is. What can you do? Okay, everyone is entitled to get triggered if they really, really want to. Some people will be saying, well, why did you make a video on this? And for some reason, people have a little knack of trying to criticize why I've done certain videos, why I said certain things in certain videos, yada, yada, yada. And as I said before, well, I don't take constructive criticism for those who have a history of supporting me, but I do it because you watch. That's why I did a particular subject, because I knew that you would watch it. And it served me well so far. How many channels out there who are not professional like myself, within the very short period of time, and 4 years isn't long, and boxing is a very, very difficult sport to do on YouTube and gain subscribers. If you want to gain subscribers, go do a football channel or something like that, or basketball or something like that, if you want to do it in sport. Boxing is very, very difficult. How many channels out there who's been doing it similar time than what I have my subscriber base? Very, very few. So therefore, I must be doing something right. Don't get me wrong, there are many things that I could do better. For sure, I know that, as in I've never scripted. This is probably like the first kind of scripted one that I've done, but I had to because I had to read out the comments. But I never script. If I did, I'd probably have better content, wouldn't I? If I used better programs, it'd probably look better on the screen, wouldn't it? But again, you see, fanboys, they will act on emotion. That's what they do. They act on emotion. It doesn't matter whether or not you're saying something that's true about their favorite fighter. It's just that they don't want to hear the truth. They want to have their favorite fighter painted in a certain light that suits their narrative. It's a delusion, is what it is. That's exactly what it is. And there's plenty of other channels out there like it too, that will claim that they're not biased, that they're not fanboys of anybody. Everybody's biased to a certain point of view. Everybody. Everybody has, when they look at certain fights, a certain fighter that they would like to win that fight. A certain fighter that they would like to see undisputed. A certain fighter that they would like to see in big fights. Certain fighters that they're quite happy to pay pay-per-view for. Everybody has it, okay? Everybody. And some fanboys, and it is ridiculous, myself and many uploaders will tell you as well, that for some reason, some fans, they will resort, due to emotion of people that they don't know, they will resort to death threats. They will resort to calling you out for a fight and things like that, and all that kind of thing. YouTubers out there, they do it themselves. I'm sure there's plenty of YouTubers out there who have called out other YouTubers for a fight. There's many YouTubers out there who just hate on anything to do with Matchroom. But yet they contradict themselves in some ways, because that's probably the only reason why they have a platform. If you notice, probably most of their videos is aimed at something Matchroom related or Sky related. So if Matchroom weren't doing what they were doing, you probably wouldn't have a platform, would you? If Eddie Hearn wasn't involved in boxing, how popular would boxing be? How much of a talking point would boxing be? Like him or loathe him, it is what it is. But how much of a talking point would boxing be? You see, a lot of these channels, now for me, I only watch channels that I like. Okay, I don't watch channels that I disagree with a lot. I don't watch channels that I don't like. I don't like watching hater channels, okay? Now some people call me a hater over certain things, but find me something where I was wrong. You'd be hard pushed to. Don't worry, it has happened before, okay? I have been wrong on certain situations and pointed in the right direction, and I've always held my hands up. But some channels will be like, they will hate on anything Matchroom, and that's what it means to be a hardcore boxing fan. To be a hardcore boxing fan, you have to hate on anything Matchroom. Now, I could probably school most of these channels who call themselves hardcore boxing fans just by hating on Matchroom. There's many, many different ways of schooling them. They're not hardcore at all. They're just haters. That's what they are. It is what it is. And a lot of them, they will chastise, say, for example, this KSI versus Logan Paul fight, okay? Two YouTubers. Say how it's taking money out of boxing fans' pockets and this, that, and the other, when that money could be put on other fighters, even though these two YouTubers are generating money themselves from their own fan base. Okay, so that it's not impacting boxing in any kind of way. Don't get me wrong, I think boxing is a bit of a joke at times with some of these fights, and I don't particularly like that fight. I don't like these YouTube fights. I really don't. But a lot of these YouTubers who will make video after video chastising them, if they were offered a fight for good money, you can bet your backside that they will be there with bells on. They will be there, oh, it's just for charity. Yeah, of course it is. No, and it's because you want to be a little bit famous and you want to get in there and have some views yourself. That's all it is. Okay, so again, there's a lot of two-facedness with a lot of channels. They will insult other channels. If you notice, I don't name drop other channels unless it's in a positive light. I will name drop certain channels in a positive way. I don't do name drop channels in a derogatory kind of way. I don't do it. I don't like to. It's not saying I've never done it. I'm saying that I don't really do it. But many channels, especially if they're small channels, they will insult other channels, basically because they're jealous of them. They want their following. They want their subscriber base. That's kind of what they do. They'll call these bigger channels view whores and money grabbers and this, that, and the other. But yeah, as soon as they are able to put ads on their videos, they will pump their videos full of adverts. And they have the nerve to criticize other YouTubers as being money grabs. They have the nerve to criticize Sky Sports and BT Sport and ESPN and Showtime and Fox as doing pay-per-views, but yet they are pumping their videos full of ads. I don't pump my videos full of ads. You will never ever find, it doesn't matter how long my video is, you will never see me pumping like 10, 15 ads. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. But these very same people who are accusing other ones of clickbaiting and view whores and trying to make money out of it, have a look on their channels and see how many adverts they've got on their channels. All you got to do is look at the little yellow dots. And most of them will probably squash their adverts at the very, very beginning of their video, like the first half of their video. Why? Because they know most people don't watch all of videos. They just don't. So they try and get as many adverts in as they possibly can. Why? Because they're trying to make money themselves, but yet claim that they're not. Claim that this is just a hobby and things like that for them. At the same time, while they're chastising Sky Sports and other channels and everything, they'll create their own channel memberships at silly prices. You know, £5 a month, 10 quid a month, 20 quid a month, 50 quid a month, whatever it may be. By the way, mine's only £2 a month, and you get to have your name on the screen each and every video. £2 a month, okay? But at the same time, we could look at it and say, well, £2 a month, you can get DAZN for that here in the UK now. Absolutely true. So go get DAZN. I have, so why not? But at the same time, of course, some of the things that I do have on my channel memberships, once boxing starts kicking off, I will be doing my obligations for some of those. So again, look at the other options, but £2 a month if you want to become my channel member. Look at other YouTube channels. Try and find me one that's less than £2. You really don't see it there. You really don't see it. And some of these are pokey little channels. They really are. Anyway, I mean, they'll beg for super chats and so forth and so forth. I know that's not really fanboyism. That's more of a two-facedness of them. But I think it's important because while they're accusing people of being matchroom fanboys, they're actually fanboys themselves of other situations, you know, where they will probably want one of their friends, or they probably want a relationship with one of their fighters or whatever it may be, and kiss some of them, like whoever it may be. Maybe they're an Amir Khan fan or a Kell Brook fan or a, I don't know, whatever fan. But they'll chastise other people or call other people fanboys, but yet they are fanboys themselves. They will have a history of it somewhere along the lines. Anyway, I hope people didn't get too offended by any of the things I said in this video. I could go on and on. I could probably make a 5-hour video on this. But it's not meant to trigger you, okay? It really isn't. Just remember, I suppose the real message is, if you want to accuse other people of being fanboys, have a look. Are you being a fanboy yourself? I am. Yes, I am biased. Okay? Drop your thoughts below. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you on the next video.